Hi, I'm Dottie Morrison, and I'm here with John Ippenson to talk about the 2017 Photo Contest and Show. Hi, John.
Good morning.
So this is a really exciting time.
This is a time of the year that people in the Photo Club certainly look forward to, although the entries are not limited to just Photo Club members. They're open to all residents. So if you're a photographer and you're out there and you have some pictures that you would like to enter, why, you're welcome to do that.
And I understand that the forms and the rules are already available at both service desks.
Yes, they will be, and they will be there, of course, until the deadline, but the entries can begin to be accepted then on the 20th of February.
So what's the very last date I can turn in photos for the contest?
The 17th of March.
I know the Photo Club members, we've been introducing some new categories. Every year we sort of figure out which categories weren't as popular. We might drop a category, we might change a category. What's the new category?
The new one for this year is motion. And so we kind of divided that into two categories of simulated and implied. And the simulated usually involves some kind of part of the picture being blurred, either panning, so keep the subject in view and in focus, and blurring the background, or the opposite would be to blur the person or the object going by with the background in focus.
Okay, all right. So it's a new challenge, and one of the reasons that we limit the photos that can be entered, and those are limited to only as far back as
2 years. That means March of 2015.
Okay, and one of the reasons we do that, we know people have wonderful photos from the past, but we want to keep challenging people to do new things, don't we?
One of the purposes of the Photo Club, of course, is to educate and to stimulate people to improve their abilities all the time. So that's one of the ways of doing that, is to keep taking photographs.
Exactly. So in the Shell Point Life in January, we gave a list of all the categories, but people can pick up the forms, and they need an entry form for each photo they're going to submit, right?
That's correct.
I've worked with you to go through the entries, and often we have to call people. We make probably 3 dozen or more calls about a question that's come up. What are some of the things that people could help us to make sure and do? What are some of the mistakes that people sometimes make?
Well, I like just to make a general statement first, in that the first rule of entering a contest is to read the rules. That, I think, underlines the importance of being able to fill out the entry forms correctly and include everything that's asked for there, and so that there won't be a problem. I think, too, the other thing that would facilitate handling of the photographs is to have all your photographs submitted at one time.
And they need to be printed on photo paper, 8 by 10.
Because the mats are actually only 7.5 by 9.5.
Right.
And so that kind of takes off the edges, so to speak. So you have to be careful and not having an important part of the picture close to the edges.
Right, right. And the other thing is making sure that the entry goes in the appropriate category.
That's true, and of course there are overlaps between the different categories. I mean, travel might include scenery, architecture, people, and so you have some capabilities of choosing one that you feel is most appropriate.
Right, right. Okay, so the photo contest will be judged after the March 17th deadline, and then we'll start matting and putting them up. And do you have a date for when the show actually begins?
On April 2nd, which is a Sunday.
One thing I always enjoy is when a new photographer that we haven't seen before, a new member of the Photo Club or a new resident of Shell Point, and they're showing new stuff. It's always exciting to see new people join in the contest. It really is.
Yes, and people get enthused about it, and so it's very exciting for a lot of people.
Right, right. Okay. Well, thanks for coming and talking about this, and we just encourage all you photographers out there, even if you've never entered before. First time I entered here at Shell Point, my first year, I won 4 ribbons. I was in shock because I'd never ever entered a contest. So get out there, read the rules, find the categories, find the pictures, and if you want to talk to somebody about it, John Ippenson's number is on that form. You can come to the next Photo Club meeting, which is the first Thursday of March, and ask some questions. We really hope that you get out there and challenge yourself to do new things.